The problem with science on television is there isn't actually any science on television. They've got all these things which they claim are science documentaries, but they're too scared to put any actual science in them. In the case of Horizon, they're horror stories about how we're all going to die. Meanwhile, on Channel 4, they're running some kind of freak show. The baby with two heads, the twin that gave birth to itself. I honestly wonder why they don't just go back to the 18th century and start charging people tuppence to poke at the freaks through the bars of their cage. Meanwhile, they've got these people with sort of correspondence course PhDs from non-accredited colleges in America. I mean, when was the last time that you heard somebody talking about chlorophyll or photosynthesis on national television? You wouldn't get it in a science show, but with Gillian McKeith saying you should eat lots of dark green leaves because that will really oxygenate your blood, you get it at 8 o'clock prime time television. Chlorophyll in chloroplasts only makes oxygen if it's in sunlight. There's no sunlight in your gut. The only way that spinach is going to make oxygen in your bowel is if you stick a torchlight up your arse. And even then, you don't have gills in your bowel. I mean, it's just preposterous fantasy. And she struts about in a white coat, in a laboratory, next to racks of electronic equipment, as if she knows what she's talking about. The thing about alternative medicine, the evidence as it was called, is that the tone throughout is, I'm a scientist. I was a sceptic when I started out, and now my mind has completely been swayed. There was one bit where somebody is apparently having open heart surgery with acupuncture alone for anaesthetic. If you really pay attention to the programme very carefully, you can just about work out that the patient has had huge amounts of local anaesthetic and lots of pre-medication before they have this open heart surgery. But everybody I spoke to came away thinking that what they'd seen was somebody having open heart surgery with acupuncture, as if this was amazing proof of the extraordinary efficacy. I just don't buy that. Even in the advert breaks, you get flaky science. You get things like, the Sillet Bang ad, where they say it gets rid of limescale, which is calcium carbonate, and we can prove that by chucking a lump of calcium metal into a dish of Sillet Bang. You chuck a lump of calcium metal into a dish of water, and it will do that. Any metal from the group on the periodic table that calcium's in is going to do that if you chuck it in water. What I want to see for science on telly is a proper show that says, here's an interesting new idea and here's the evidence for and against, because that's what science is all about. If they can't give me, here's an idea and here's the evidence, then I'm just not interested.
Now,